Did you know that almost all the food you eat on a daily basis is made through genetic modification? You may not know what genetic modification or GMOs are, but today I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. I'm going to tell you what they are, when they came about, and some of their benefits and drawbacks. I'm credible to talk about GMOs because I've done a lot of research on them. First off, what they are. Genetically modified organisms, also known as GMOs, are organisms with proteins and molecules that have been chemically changed and altered. They do this by splicing the DNA of one thing, like a plant or an animal, and mixing it with another plant or an animal. They can also do it with bacteria and viruses. With the advancements we have today, they can even take animal genes and put them with plants. This could get very dangerous. What they do with the splitting of the DNA cannot occur in nature by itself or with the traditional crossbreeding like Gregor Mendel used to use. Some of the big companies that use genetic modification are Monsanto, Cargill, ConAgra, and they do this for various reasons that I'll tell you about later on. GMOs genetic modification have been around since the mid-19th century when Gregor Mendel, like I said, started experimenting with the genes of peas, the genetics of peas. He'd take the better peas and mix them with the better ones to get a better species. And we've had many advancements since then. Some of the advancements have provided us with benefits. Some of the benefits we have, some of the reasons we use genetic modification is to give the fruits and vegetables a longer shelf life. So it's easier to transport foods and to keep them longer, like a tomato. You can transport it and it won't get old as fast, and they'll stay on the shelf in the store longer. The appearance, they make them look better. They make the skin tougher so it doesn't bruise as easily, so people are more likely to buy them. Sometimes there's more nutrients added with GMOs, and farmers add them to their fruits and vegetables so insects are killed upon digestion of the plant to keep them away. Another benefit is some people believe that genetic modification will solve world hunger. But on the other side, some of the drawbacks. We don't totally understand the effects that GMOs have on humans, the environment, or animals. For example, on the environment, there can be super weeds that it takes the genes of the herbicide-resistant plant and it mixes just with the weed, and they're extremely hard to control, and they could take over entire populations and maybe wipe them out and totally get rid of them. The effects on humans, some studies have linked GMOs with cancer and maybe even becoming sterile. And on animals, we don't know the effects on animals yet, but there's a study in Britain that showed a decrease in bird population in GM producing areas where people were growing GM crops. The bird population was down. And also, according to Jeffrey Smith, the executive director of the Institute for Responsible Technology, a veterinarian said that the liver of a GMO-fed cow, quote, looked like a bomb went off in it. Also, with GMOs, we don't have much variety. For, say, a tomato or corn, there's only one type of GMO, or 1 to 3 types, but with like the organic natural heirloom, the one you'd find in nature, there are hundreds of types of corn or tomatoes. Another problem with GMOs is the wind blowing, and you don't need labels for GMOs. Like in the store, they don't have to be labeled GMO, but they have to be labeled organic. And the pollen from GMO crops can mix with the pollen of organic, and it's very hard for organic farmers to keep this under control, and it's not fair for them when the big companies that make GMOs don't need any regulations at all. Some countries are even banning GMOs because there is no labeling and they don't know the possible effects yet. So now you know what GMOs are, when they came about, some of their drawbacks versus their benefits, and they may be here in the future or they may be banned. They might solve world hunger, but we do not know yet.